dudes, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, man. I appreciate it. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for the invitation, man.
Exactly. We're excited about it, man.
Yeah, I've been listening to you guys' show, man. It just gets better and better every show I listen to, man. So keep up the good work. It's awesome. Yeah,
Dude, sometimes I'm like, are we digressing? Because you always want to try to outdo yourself, and bring more and more and more. But I feel like that we've created kind of a high standard for ourselves at this point. In terms of what we have to bring to the table, we can't go back to basic after setting the bar where we've set it, So
we knew what we were getting ourselves into too, man. Like we knew when we started this, like, dude, we're probably gonna suck. Yeah, but we're just gonna get better as we go, dude. We just gotta keep putting ourselves out there.
We thought we'd suck, but the feedback's been pretty good so far. So Anywho.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, so you guys have this podcast called The Real Business Owners. Like I said, it's an amazing show. For those who don't know, what's your show about, and how did you guys end up putting this thing together?
Yeah, that's kind of a... So we did...
Of events,
yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah. A series of events, man. So it's not like we've always just wanted to be podcasters or something like that, and dreamt of having our own podcast. It kind of came to us because of the Instagram account, right? It was growing very fast. Instagram only allows you to do, those 60-second clips. They have the IGTV now where you can do the little bit longer form type content. But I had a lot of direct messages of people asking, like, do you guys have a YouTube channel? Do you guys do any coaching or mentoring? And, we kind of turned to each other. We're like, we didn't have any of that. So we said, let's start a podcast so that we can get more long form information out there. That was kind of the least path of resistance, is to order a few mics and start a podcast. And so we kind of got pushed into that through all of the requests for more information on that Instagram account. So that's how the podcast kind of came about. But the Instagram account, we actually have an Instagram account for Easier Accounting, our accounting firm that we own. And we were putting out the same type of content on that. But for whatever reason, it wasn't resonating with people. And I think the reason being is because it's tied to a brand. And anybody automatically, when they see a name or a company, any of the message that comes after that, it kind of falls on deaf ears, because they feel as though that company obviously has a reason why they're putting it out, or an agenda behind the content. And the agenda is ultimately to get your business, right? And so they're not even giving it the time of day, because there's the label of the company that's putting it out. And so we kind of we sat back and we're like, man, we need to approach this a little bit differently, to where people actually give the content a chance, right? And so we need to come up with more of just like a generic name that where we're just putting out information underneath that name rather than under our company name, and build more of a community rather than, putting out content underneath a brand. And so, I had a few names kind of put down on a piece of paper, and me, Kel, and our other partner kind of chopped it up a little bit. And I went down some of the list of names that I came up with. And right when I said Real Business Owner, Kel's like, yep, I like that one.
I was like, dude, that can't be available.
Yeah. He didn't think it was available. I'm like,
he's like, already checked.
I searched all these. And so that's how kind of Real Business Owners came about. And I was just telling these guys right before we hopped on this that it was yesterday was our 6-month mark, and we hit 42,000 followers within 6 months of setting that up. Wow. So it's growing quite fast.
It is growing fast, man. So, and honestly, dude, like to kind of touch on that too, like we like, we're business owners. We got all these things going on, and we love helping other business owners. That's why we follow guys that are way above us, like Ed Mylett and Andy Frisella, and a lot of those guys. And we realized too that we're like, man, we're always aspiring to be better and grow, and we love how those guys, we get so much value out of their content. Like, what if we can help guys that are more starting out, or they're not as far as we are? Like, let's bring guys up to our level and help them with some of the stuff that we know, because dude, we've paid influencers and all kinds of stuff to help promote us in the past. And we're like, when we meet with them, we talk with them, a lot of these guys, like, they don't even know near as much as we know about business in general. And so we're like, dude, we do have a lot to offer business owners. I mean, we're still growing. We're still striving for new levels, but we do have a lot to offer people. And so we're just like, let's put it out there. And we knew, like, it wasn't going to be easy to, like, I don't know, be like at an Andy's level or something like that, but like,
sure.
like we knew that like, dude, we do have a lot to offer, and it's going to be uncomfortable at first, but let's just do it. So we hired videographers and we started putting ourselves out there, and and then we changed names and stuff like that along the way. And so, now we're starting to get momentum, dude. It's pretty cool.
I think that's a great kind of segue into just starting and then kind of evolve as you go, see where it takes you. And then you're like, okay, well, this is the direction that people are wanting us to take the content, or this is where it's headed. Let's just do it now and get ahead of what the people want. Right. And so I think a lot of people try to perfect what they, we didn't write down what we were going to do. We hired a videographer just like that. And we were just kind of staring at each other for a while. Like, I don't know what to do with a videographer. He didn't know what to do. It was his first gig too. So
it's like, it's your turn. You get in front of the camera.
we didn't know what the hell we were doing. And now, like a year and a half later, it's far more natural. And it's just kind of part of our daily routine to have a camera in the office. So, and a lot of our employees, when at first they saw the camera coming, they duck into an office or into the bathroom. Everybody's kind of, a lot of people are camera shy. A lot of I get people asking, well, why aren't there women in your videos and this? I'm like, half of our staff is women, but they just don't feel that comfortable being on camera, right? They have some weird, I don't know if it's, they're a little self-conscious. Who knows? But ultimately, they just don't feel that comfortable to be on camera. So we try to respect that as much as we possibly can. We'll catch them here and there just in passing, but
different personality
nothing
types.
Too major. But
some of them actually, I noticed like they're kind of like they want to be more on camera and be a part of it and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Yeah, it's definitely an evolving thing. I mean, when I started my podcast for Top Rated MMA in August of 2017, I actually did that out of a walk-in closet in my house for the first, 70 episodes. And, I look back now and I'm like, I'm not even looking at the camera. I'm, all over the place. And now I have, lights and I have a camera here and I can actually do this and feel comfortable, man. So it's been fun, man. And I'm about 140 episodes in for my Top Rated MMA show. And this is my...
Are you doing weekly? Once a week, or how often are you dropping an episode?
Yeah,
every week.
I try to release one show a week. And right now I'm booked out on Top Rated MMA and Bearded Biz shows all the way through the end of October. And so I've got shows coming out scheduled through mid-November. And yeah, man, it's just keeping me busy for sure. Yeah, dude, it's been fun, man.
Do you find that it does help you grow your brand quite a bit, dude?
It really did, especially for Top Rated MMA, because I really was I started Top Rated MMA in 2012, and it was up and down with my excitement about the business. And then I was like, dude, I want to start this podcast. I just want to ask fighters, why do they want to get in there and get punched in the face, and just questions like that, right? And then it kind of took off where now I'm kind of being recognized humbly as the #1 MMA podcast in the Northwest. Which is pretty cool. And
congrats on that, man.
Thank you. Yeah, and it was really cool because I wanted to start Bearded Biz. I wanted to talk to entrepreneurs and world changers and people out there that are excited about business and making money and personal development and stuff like that. And so I launched Bearded Biz in January of this year, and it's been kind of just skyrocketed. It's been really cool. Obviously, I had Ed Mylett on my show a couple weeks back. That was pretty rad, dude.
That was awesome, man.
But, so it's been fun, man. And then I came across you guys through the Maxout community, which you guys, like I said, you guys are awesome. That's why I wanted to reach out to you guys and touch base there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was cool.
I had a question, though. You guys, I think in one of your podcasts had mentioned that you had an Instagram account. It started to build up, and then something happened, and then you guys restarted this Real Business one 6 months ago, and now it's 42,000 people, man. How did you guys get it that successful?
Man, first of all, we still to this day don't even know what happened. We got a warning one time for using copywritten music, so we're like, oh cool, we won't do that anymore. So we obviously started putting in beats and stuff on the open market or whatever. What is that site called?
I don't know, what site do we use?
It's we started buying
royalty free.
Yeah,
basically.
we started using background music and stuff like that because they warned us. But then one day, man, they just shut us off, and we still this day don't know what they did. Yeah. We went through all their instructions, send them a picture with your with you in it and your account name, and then send them a business license. We're doing all this stuff, and then they just never would reply. Yeah. I was like, well, I'm just gonna bug them. So I emailed them probably 15 times over a course of 3 weeks. Hey, you guys haven't replied. You haven't replied. You're fine. Finally, we just started like doing the real business owners thing, and we have an easier accounting one still too. We started kind of rebuilding everything, and I just stopped bugging them. I'm like, shit, we're just gonna have to start over, man. Like they won't give us any reply, so that's what happened there. We still don't know what happened.
Yeah. So gotcha. I mean, we were building it up, but that was I was trying to still figure everything out, right? Because I was still so new at the whole social media stuff. And we had it for about a year, but we only had 83 or 8,400 followers. Okay. I invested probably, 35,000 or so between, camera equipment. We were doing like $500. We were doing free Fridays is what we called it, where we were giving away $500 every Friday, with a shirt and a hat, as long as they were tagging people, stuff like that. I log in one Sunday and it said can't be found. I was like, what the heck is going on? My heart dropped. But I'm a firm believer it just redirected us, because it made me take a back seat for 2 or 3 weeks to try to rethink the right approach to the social media game, right? And we quickly got up to that 83 or 400 followers and surpassed it very, very fast. So and I'm happy that happened, because if it didn't happen, I would still be operating under that old easier accounting Instagram account. And we may only have 14,000 followers or something at this point, rather than 42,000 followers. So I think it was just redirecting us, right? Yeah. We weren't living up to our full potential underneath that handle. And I think so I heard a story with The Rock, right? He was playing football in Canada or whatever, and his heart was basically torn out of his chest when he got cut, and because he just wanted to play football. And it just redirected him to something new. And then now he is who he is today. And so when that happened, I kind of remembered that story, and I'm like, okay, this is just redirecting us. I just need to find the direction and find the why. And so I tried to look at it in a positive light. Of course, I was bummed out for, a week or so, but then I started just changing my mindset and my focus and saying, okay, there's something better out there. I just need to figure out, which direction we need to take this thing. And so then we took it down the path of setting up the Real Business Owners Instagram account, and now that thing's kind of taken on its own life. So there's a few reasons why it's growing fast. I mean, one, like, we authentically want to help other business owners. And so I feel like when you're authentically putting yourself out there and people can resonate with you, they're going to recommend other people to follow you. Yeah. And a lot of it is growing organically. To start, we did do paid ads too, because we want to get our message out there and we want to build our brand. And we were spending so much money on other things like PPC and other social media posts and paying influencers, like I talked about before. And it's like, those things all work a little bit, but it's like, what if we direct some of our marketing funds here and get our message out there? And if it really helps people, it's going to spread. And so now we're spending less and less on paid ads, and we're growing more and more organically too. So,
well, I'd love to go back a little bit. Both of you guys have mentioned in previous podcasts of yours that you guys kind of started out as an entrepreneur at a pretty young age. What type of things were you guys doing as a kid to be that entrepreneur?
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I've done a lot of things, man. Yeah. Like I was as a kid, I just loved money. Yeah. Like I remember, like we're in a Mormon community, so we used to have home teachers come over all the time and visit once a week. And I remember I remember being really young, like 7 or 8 years old. And one time our home teacher came over and he's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, a millionaire. And he just laughed at me. And I was like looking at him like, why are you laughing?
What's
like, I want to be a millionaire. And he's like, well, what are you going to do to be a millionaire? And I literally, as a kid, was like, I don't know, but I want to be a millionaire. But I always want to sell things, man. Like, I would go down to our little mercantile, and when penny candies were just really a penny, I would buy like as many penny candies as I could, put them in little baggies 10 at a time, and go to school and sell them for $1. And like, I would just do stuff like that. Trev used to go and sell like golf balls to golfers because he lived by a golf course. And
well, so I mean, they built a big wall around my community because I lived in the ghetto, but there was a golf course, a couple blocks away, right? And so all of us poor kids would go walking through the weeds, and you had our backpack, and we'd throw golf balls in there. We'd go home and we'd polish them up. Every Saturday we'd get the egg cartons out and put the golf balls so that they could see it's a Titleist. And, we would basically be presenting our, egg carton of golf balls to the golfers saying 4 for $1, 4 for $1. And they were just buying them up. And so, same thing with like just taking the lawnmower around the neighborhood, knocking on everyone's doors. Hey, do you want your lawn mowed for $5? No, go to the next one. Want your lawn, and go mow like 4 or 5 lawns and make a quick $20-25 on a Saturday as a kid. Just the fact is, when you grow up poor, you can't go to your parents for, you blow a tire on your bike and you want to go ride with your friends. Your family's too poor to go just be replacing tires, or if you want new handlebars or whatever it is, some of those things I had to take care of myself and figure out a way to get what I wanted. And if you want it bad enough, you'll figure it out. Right. And so that's that. I mean, we
had similar upbringings as far as, kind of the, not the super whatever, the poorest. I don't know. I think you might have been grew up a little more. I was like the very bottom of middle class. You might have been in like even lower than that. I don't know as far as our upbringing goes, but
people used to knock on our door and run away, and we'd open our door and it would be like food, because they knew how poor we were, and like I grew up on powdered milk, right? You take a scoop like a protein and mix it with water, and then we'd pour it on our cereal, right? And so it was, it was, lights getting shut off and stuff, watching my mom cry to the utility department to turn the lights back on, stuff like that. That's how poor we were growing up. So it wasn't the best, 1 bathroom, there was 9 of us in the house, and, all that. It was quite the, I say that I had the luxury of growing up poor, because I think if I grew up rich, I would probably be, a snobby dude and, think that everything's owed to me, have that entitlement issue. At this point, I try to stay pretty humble about, kind of where we are financially, and, want to give back, because I know what it feels like to, try to start a business, and there's a lot of dark times, when you're going through that startup phase and you're going through some of those struggles. And, I always think back, I'm like, man, I wish social media existed when we were doing this, so that I had like a guiding light, right? Somebody that would say, hey, you're not alone. Like, you're not the only one. Because when you're going through tough times, no matter if somebody, you do feel alone. You feel like you're the only one going through the shit when you're going through the shit, right?
Yep.
But you're not. Every business owner, that's one common theme that I see across all business owners. They've sacrificed a lot, and they've gone through, a lot of struggles and lonely times, hard times, and they just continued to press on until they popped out the other side. And so that's kind of the message that it's just a recurring theme, on our Instagram and podcast, is just see it through, So
when you're a young kid and you got that entrepreneurial spirit too, like, and I don't know, I mean, maybe you have some younger kids that listen to your show, but man, get into sales. Like, that's where we met each other when we were like 18, 19 years old. Like, we met each other at a call center doing sales. And then, we kind of had our time apart. Like, he went one way, I went another way. Then, I started a company. I finally got, brave enough to start a company. He came back and worked for me. He did such a great job. Years later, I was like, let's partner on stuff. And, it just, man, as you get more and more confident on a challenging thing like sales, and you get momentum and you get that confidence, you're going to get braver and braver to try things like starting your own company. Yeah. But you got to kind of have that sales background to get clients and build that confidence too. So I always recommend people, get into sales, man. I have young kids come up to me at the gym, like, I'm just getting ready to go to college. What do you recommend? And I'm just like, get into sales, man. I mean,
there's just a lot of struggle. There's a lot of no's, you'll have your good weeks, your bad weeks. Half the time when you're a salesperson, you're wondering if you need to go back to college, if you're doing the right thing. All of those same thoughts happen as an entrepreneur. Like, am I doing the right thing? Should I go back to school? Should I walk away from all this? So I think a lot of the same mental battles that you have to go through as a salesperson is similar to entrepreneurship, in terms of just kind of having to take a no or get punched in the face, but still show up day after day with enthusiasm and belief that something good's going to happen, right? Yeah. And so I think that there's a strong correlation there between entrepreneurship and being in sales. So
I agree, man. I mean, I did sales for 20 years and I stepped out of it about 5 years ago. I now work for a software company and I do customer success. it's not my passion. This is my passion, right? I love talking with people. I love networking with people, man. Unfortunately, I still work the full-time job, but we've got the plan. We've got the goal to walk away, hopefully in the next 5 years. And
everybody's vehicle is a little bit different, right? Like you're utilizing your full-time job as a vehicle to get you where you want to be. Sometimes the objective is not to just jump right in. Sometimes you have to sacrifice, like you're doing, for a period of time and stay in that vehicle that's going to take you where you want to go while something else is building. I mean, there's several ways to get to that point, and you're just utilizing what you're doing as a vehicle to go from here to here, and then then you get into the next vehicle that who knows where that's going to take you, right?
What is the best and worst part about being an entrepreneur to you guys?
You know what, man? I love the freedoms that it does provide, but there is obviously a lot of freedoms that you give up too. So, I mean, you know, like I've had to have talks with my kids, man. I'm like, hey, you know, the reason that I can spend more time with you and, you know, I can, you know, take us on trips and do all the stuff is because, you know, I have the ability to work no matter where I'm at. So I love that. It provides that where I can work from anywhere with my family. But it does kind of suck at times when you're like, man, I have something I got to do. And I am trying to spend time with my family, but there's some urgent thing I got to take care of. And, you know, I don't like them to feel like, you know, my work is more important than them. And so there's this battle of like, you know, I got the freedom to where I can go spend more time with them and take them on vacations. But, you know, there's roles that I've got to I haven't worked myself out of yet, you know, to where I can't, you know, leave that yet to give that like full focus to, you know, them sometimes, you know. And so I don't know, I think it's hard to balance that. So that's probably one of the toughest things is just balancing the professional and the personal life.
Yeah. Marriage. I mean, it's tough, right? Like trying to sell what you believe to a spouse, right? And they want like, hey, well, money's not everything. I'm fine with the way things are, you know, but in some cases, you know, they don't share the exact same vision that you have, and you believe it so much so that you just try to, you know, sell them the dream, so to speak, and say, just hang in there, you know, like, I promise it'll all make sense. It'll come full circle one day. You'll be happy that you made some, because women or men, you know, whether it's a man entrepreneur, their wives are making sacrifices as well. Mm-hmm. If it's a woman entrepreneur, the husband is making sacrifices as well, because they're allowing them. I mean, we're in an airplane several times a month. I mean, we're leaving tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? No, Wednesday.
Oh yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah. So we're leaving on Wednesday to drive to LA for a couple of events, and we're not going to be back till Sunday. We're constantly we're gone a lot, you know. And so it's not. I don't like being gone. I'm not a big traveler. You know, I prefer staying in a routine that I feel like I'm performing at my peak with, inside of waking up at this time every single day, eating my, you know, healthy breakfast, going to the office. Like, that's my high power routine. And anytime I travel, I kind of get in a little bit of a funk, because it's just, and you try to stay to the routine and go to a hotel gym or, you know, some of that stuff, but it definitely, it's different. But, you know, they're making sacrifices, staying back home with the kids and allowing us to be gone for 4 or 5 days at a time to try to scale our businesses. And so those are just sacrifices, right? Like, with anything good is bad, and anything that's bad, there's probably some good that you can, it just depends on where your focus is. But I really enjoy kind of, you know, building teams and cultures, and, you know, I enjoy watching like my employees pull up in a new car and, you know, buy a house. Those are things that I get, you know, satisfaction out of, watching other people grow just by being inside of our, you know, ecosystem, so to speak, with inside of our businesses. And so, there's a lot of perks for us to be able to travel and take, you know, great vacations and be gone for a week with our family. But then there's the negative side that we have to be gone for a week without our family, you know, in order to be able to do stuff like that. So there's always give and take, no matter what you're doing, you know, when it comes to this entrepreneurship game, you know. So
yep, absolutely. You guys are part of the Arate Syndicate, and you guys were just up here in Coeur d'Alene this year, just a couple months back, right? Was this your first year in Arate, or were you guys actually part of it last year as well?
I was a part of the accelerator last year.
Oh, okay.
So there are two different levels, right? There's the Arate Accelerator, and then there's the Arate Syndicate. The Accelerator's, you know, kind of a little bit lower level, where it's like $300 or $400 a month, and then the Syndicate, it costs $6,000 a month per person. So it's quite
it's a bigger
quite
jump,
different.
you know? Yeah. But you got requirements. I mean, man, there was like 32,000 applicants and they only selected 700 dudes. And then basically the first ones to, you know, like pony up and take that immediate action are the guys that are going to be able to join the club. And dude, I'm glad we did it, man. We actually got accepted the first year and we're like, you know, let's fill it out. And that's why we did the accelerator, and it's a big investment, you know? So we decided to like, dude, especially after getting to know Ed and Andy and their teachings, and we align with it so much. It was like, dude, let's do it. Not only is it going to be a great investment into us personally to continue to grow what we're growing, but it's a great way to network with other guys at your level. I mean, a lot of times, you know, people don't understand, you know,
power of networking with those.
Yeah. Well, and just even collaborating with people that are on the same journey that you're on, you know, because sometimes you don't get a lot of that in your personal life. You know, we're lucky to have each other, but you know, not.
It is different. Like, for instance, I have a difficult time going out to dinner, like whether it's with like one of my wife's friends or something like that, because I'm so business minded, and like regular conversations don't really excite me. And so I don't have a lot in common with a lot of people, right? Mm-hmm. There's only a select amount of people that can fully understand, you know, my passions or the things that really light my fire. You know, some people might enjoy, you know, golfing or four-wheeling or camping or, you know, have these different type of hobbies. And, you know, to me, I enjoy building businesses and enjoy, you know, overcoming things because it forces us to level up as individuals. Mm-hmm. Your business can't scale if you don't scale as a person, right? Yeah. So you have to evolve as an individual for your business to evolve. You can't stay the same person but then grow a $100 million business. It's just not going to happen. And so it's the networking side of it's awesome. A lot of it's, you know, self-help, self-improvement, you know, opening up sides of our mind that maybe we haven't opened up, or seeing something that, you know, we didn't see with inside of our business, or, you know, somebody just might say something that just kind of gives you that aha moment that you know exactly now what you need to do with inside of your company. So that's why we chose this year to join and surround ourselves with those type of people.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Fun question for you. You guys went to Ed's house. I live across the lake from it. And how cool is that, man? His house is cool as it looks.
Oh, dude,
it's cooler.
I mean, everybody kept saying, like, dude, you know, get ready to have your vision stretch. And that's exactly what it is, man. You know, like, as you get to know guys like Ed and Andy, which, you know, I mean, we don't know them super well yet, but they're, you know, they're very, dude, they're guys like us, man. Like, you know, they really help you understand like anything is possible. And it really does stretch your vision when you get there and you get to go and talk to those guys and see what they've built, and super grateful for their mentorship, man, and that they opened this program up, because that's exactly what it does when you go somewhere like Ed's house, is it stretches your vision, and it's incredible, dude, for sure.
Well, at the event, he talked about how he was an individual in an audience at an event himself 22 years ago, and he went to go give his debit card or credit card or whatever to the front desk, and it declined. So he couldn't get a room at the hotel, so he just stayed on the couch in the lobby. And that's where he was just 22 years ago, and now he's, you know, paying cash for $25 million houses. And like when I say it's much cooler in person is because you get to see all the fine details. There was literally no spared expense on that house. You know, there's a few contractors in the group, and they were just kind of looking around the house and like, oh my gosh, that's $62 a foot for this type of copper. And, you know, they were just going crazy because they actually understand the value in each little piece. And so it was everything that we wanted it to be, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. How do you like Coeur d'Alene, dude? How do you like living there?
I love it, man. I'm 5 miles from the lake, and we take the kayaks out on the lake, and we're always at the lake during the summer, man. It's a beautiful place to live, man. What is your morning routine? I mean, that's all kind of like sets your day to be successful. Mm-hmm. And you guys talked about this a little bit on your show, but what things do you do in the morning to really make sure your day starts off right?
Well, you know, like, dude, this is something that I've constantly worked on and battled, because, you know, I feel like most people naturally want to, you know, be lazy and sleep in and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I know Trev gets up even earlier than I do, but I've really worked on getting up a little earlier. One of the things I used to do is I used to just grab my phone first thing like everybody else, man. And like, I always have emails. Like, I've got guys I do business with in Hong Kong that I'm like, I wake up and they're just going to to bed. So they're like, I've got like 15 emails to answer, and it really does just get overwhelming and start your day off wrong, right? And so this last several months, man, I've really worked on not grabbing my phone and doing my me time, man, where I reflect on myself. I work on, always work on my self-awareness and the things that are holding me back and things I can improve on. I do some visualization. Some people call it meditation, whatever you want to call it, man. I do some gratitude. I do gratitude, visualization, and just work on my own self-awareness. And I still to this day, man, I reach for my phone first thing, but I've tricked my mind into me reaching for my phone to be that reminder of like, oh no, don't grab that phone yet, man. You got to do your me time first. And so that's just something that's really worked for me, man, is like I've just done that by doing it over and over again. Like at first when I would grab my phone and start doing it, I'd be like, oh, I can't do that, man. I forgot. I put my phone away, then I go to it. Now it's just become more of a habit to where I either don't reach for my phone, or when I do, it's a reminder to not, right? So that's kind of my morning routine. I am doing 75 hard right now. So I get up and I do my workout, usually my outside workout first, after I do my reflection and my me time there, and then I come home, I get ready to go to work.
Come on.
And I'm reading my 10 pages. That's the other cool thing, man, is like about 75 hard is it's pushed me to like start reading every morning as well. It's not that it doesn't take that long to read 10 pages, but the benefits are powerful, dude. So I'm already seeing that. So just being a couple weeks in.
That's awesome, man.
I wake up at 6 a.m. every day. There's days I wake up at like 5 a.m. I
thought you were like a 4 or 5 a.m. or did I get up at 6 too?
Yeah, no. I mean, there's days that I get up at 5 when my body's just had enough sleep. You know how sometimes your body wakes up before the alarm? So it's usually between 5 and 6, but the alarm, no matter what, will go off at 6 if I'm just, being a bum and, not getting up before the alarm clock because I'm tired or whatever. But, I do something similar that Kel's doing, but I've changed it recently where I do think of a few things that I'm grateful for as I'm laying in bed before I get out of bed. But just this last week, I've incorporated something new to it because I was asked to be an MC at an event in October 15th. And, there's a lot of self-doubt that kind of comes into your mind being like, well, your backstory. Nobody else knows your backstory unless you tell it. But, your subconscious knows your backstory and tells you, you're just a poor kid. You've been a drug addict. You're not good enough. Just the attack that your subconscious mind sometimes plays on you. And so I've been every day that I wake up now, I start saying some things that I am. I consciously have to block out, the subconscious and say, I am great. I am energetic. I am passionate about what I do. I am built for this. Just some of those. I don't think anybody takes enough time to identify with who they are or what they want to be. They're just running on autopilot subconsciously, and your subconscious mind knows all your weaknesses and tells you how shitty of a person that you are when you're trying to level up. You're not good enough, or you're this, or tries to sell you an excuse not to get out of bed early in the morning. You're tired. You've done good for the last 3 days. Take it easy. So I think that if you don't consciously try to control your mind and your thoughts, your subconscious is going to control your thoughts. It's going to be on autopilot, and it's going to keep you at the level that you're at now, unless you make it a point to try to identify yourself as something else or whatever it is that you want to be. So that's something that I've just started incorporating, because I would start getting anxiety thinking about being on stage and, trying to be the MC. I don't want to screw up somebody else's event, so I'm starting to, confirm with myself that I will be good at it. I am built for this. This is something that I have to do because I preach overcoming fear and doing some of the scary things. And so I need to honor that myself. But it's kind of a way just for me to hype myself up and reprogram your self-talk in what you believe you are as a person. And then, so I've been doing that this last week, and it's kind of helped calm the anxiety of it. And I feel a little bit more confident about going into that event and being able to do a good job for those guys. But after I do that, obviously just get up, brush my teeth, and hit the gym. That's the one place that, I get to go where I'm not a dad, I'm not a business owner. I'm me, and, I get to take out any negative energy that I have, and I get that first win of the day. So then I've got momentum, coming into the office, You know, a lot of people are drinking coffee. They're still tired. They don't even get up by 10:30. By the time there's zombies walking into work the first hour and a half. But, you know, getting up early and exercising, I walk in, I'm ready for the day, you know, the second that I come into the office. So I'm a big believer in solid morning routines.
I agree. Yeah, I'm up at 4 a.m. 6 days a week, man. And
Wow.
That's my thing, man. I'm up and I come into my office and it's start networking time, and it's responding to emails, it's building out website and staging my post for the week, man. And that morning routine is definitely got to be foundational for sure, man. So
I think a lot of people are sleeping on that. Yeah, a lot of people are sleeping on a good morning routine and what it can actually do for you. I'm a firm believer it's a game changer as long as people can do it long enough to where it starts just becoming a habit. You don't even have to think about whether you're going to wake up tomorrow at 4 a.m. It's just something now that you do, right? It's just who you are now, right? Yeah. But you have to do it for a long enough period of time before that's actually ingrained in you as a habit, rather than, you know, fighting the 4 a.m. alarm clock probably for the first month or two, you know?
Man, Trevor, Kale, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day, man. I so appreciate it. And just sharing the knowledge, man. You guys are, your show is awesome. Also wanted to let you guys give just a shout out to your company, your business, your podcast. The floor is yours, man.
Yeah, no, we would love anybody that follows you that wants to, you know, try to grow mentally. And if you grow mentally, obviously you're going to grow financially. So we're big on self-improvement, self-help, and, you know, trying to, you know, some of the things that I post might be a little too real and raw for some people. It might hurt their feelings a little bit, but that's exactly what's needed so that a change can actually occur, right? And so if you guys are looking for something like that, go check us out at Real Business Owners on Instagram. So it is with an S on the end, but you know, if you're typing in Real Business, the owners will just probably auto-populate up at the top. Follow us there. We do own an accounting firm called Easier Accounting. If you own a business and you need any bookkeeping, tax prep, payroll help, or just have questions, you know, we won't charge you if you want to, you know, pick up the phone and call us and just ask us a few questions and, you know, confirm that what you're doing is the right thing in terms of your bookkeeping or the way that your entity is structured or whatever it is. So
we're a big believer in providing value. Had like these core beliefs of like helping people and earning business through providing value.
The right thing, yeah.
Well, thank you guys again. I appreciate it. Have an awesome day, dude.
Yeah, you too, man.
Hey guys, thank you so much for hanging around. Really appreciate it. If you'd like to see more videos from Top Rated MMA and the Bearded Biz Show, please click the playlist and also hit subscribe to our channel. Become part of the Top Rated MMA and Bearded Biz community. We would really appreciate your support. Also, please leave a comment below. I will read and respond to all of them. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.